Breaking news this evening, a new report out in Texas about the horrific mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in the town of Uvalde. The report released just hours ago details law enforcement's failure at the federal, state, and local level. Even though nearly 400 officers were on the scene, it was more than an hour before the army of officers finally confronted the shooter. By then, 19 children and 2 adults were dead. The report said, quote, "Other than the attacker, the committee did not find any villains in the course of its investigation. There is no one to whom we can attribute malice or ill motives. Instead, we found systemic failures and egregiously poor decision-making." Texas House investigators will hold a press conference at 5 p.m. Eastern, which we will bring to you live. The trauma of deadly mass shootings, but many more Americans die in gun violence happening every day around the country. Tonight, NBC News is doing a special report on this overwhelming toll of violence. One Night in America takes a look at crime in 4 cities: Philadelphia, Baltimore, Houston, and Chicago. Reporting teams were embedded with police departments and trauma wards overnight to get a firsthand look at the crisis and how it's affecting these communities. NBC's Kate Snow, anchor of the Sunday edition of NBC's Nightly News, joins us now. Kate, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
You spent the night with a pastor, a community activist in Chicago. Tell us about your experience. What did you see? What did you hear? What did you learn?
So Pastor Donovan Price, Michael, is his name, and he calls himself a street pastor. What he does is listens to the police radios, looks at social media, and gets notifications when there's a shooting in Chicago, predominantly on the south side, west side of Chicago are the neighborhoods he focuses on, and he goes there. So when he hears about a shooting, he goes because he wants to help the families of the loved ones who are lost. He told me, I can't believe this, Michael, he told me he's been to more than 1,000 homicide scenes in the last 5 to 6 years. He tries to help the families in that moment with their grief, but also with the planning of funerals, with all kinds of things that he described, like going to the morgue, having to identify bodies, all those things we don't think about. And I talked to him, Michael, about what he would do, what he would say is the solution right now for the gun violence that plagues our cities. And he said, you know what it is that people, all of us in America, need to focus on what is happening, not just in mass shootings like Uvalde, but night by night by night in cities like this. Take a listen. You're concerned that people just aren't paying attention, right?
It's a pick and choose. You know, when it happens over there, man, when it happens over here, that's them. That's what they do. That's how they live.
Do you mean when it happens in a big way, mass shooting at a school or somewhere more affluent, it gets more attention?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
We went with him and met a mother who had lost both of her sons in the last 5 months, Michael, one last December and then one the day before Mother's Day. He had just bought her a cake when he was shot down. We also went with him to the hospital about 1 or 2 in the morning this morning. We were outside a hospital in Chicago watching as a family was waiting, very tense outside, waiting for word of their loved one, and found out that he was deceased. This is what he lives with every single night, Michael.
It's an amazing, amazing line of stories. You were one of 4 reporters embedded across the country. Tell us some more about this initiative and what we should expect to see tonight.
Yeah, and, you know, we could have picked so many cities, Michael, but we sort of picked a diversity of cities. You showed them on the map. My colleagues, Gabe Gutierrez, was in Maryland at a trauma center where they only treat trauma, and they're increasingly treating people who have been shot. He actually saw someone be pronounced deceased. You'll see that tonight. My colleague Gadi Schwartz was in Houston, riding to all kinds of different scenes of gun violence, multiple scenes last night. And then war people shot just before he started riding along with police, and they were dealing with that. I think you'll see a pattern. And again, it's our effort to try to shine a light on things that don't often have a light shine, because we're the Sunday Nightly News, Michael. And this happens a lot on Saturday nights in the summer. We thought we would just spend these 24 hours looking at it, and we're devoting about half of our broadcast to this tonight, Michael.
Incredible reporting effort. Thank you so much. NBC's Kate Snow. One Night in America airs tonight on NBC Nightly News. Up next, the abortion fight heating up, a 10-year-old rape victim at the center of the debate. An update on that case and a new strategy for protecting access to abortion in 2 states.